What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at what has happened in the real estate market in the month of November, and we're going to compare it to what has happened with all the data that was released last month in October, and we're going to see whether or not prices have declined compared to the previous month. We all know that on October 25th, the Bank of Canada decided to hold their rates. We are also waiting for the month of December when they're going to be announcing again another decision on what they'll be doing to the Bank of Canada rates. But what we do know is that it is still siding with a hold and potentially rate reductions coming in early 2024. So it will be interesting to see how the rates will affect house prices. There is no direct correlation to interest rates to home prices. So there is not a direct correlation to it. So it doesn't necessarily mean that when interest rates go down means that house prices go up. So it's not necessarily the case. We have seen it in other markets where home prices did not increase in value, but obviously affordability does. Now, because we have a housing crisis, there is still demand for people to purchase a home. So let's take a look and see exactly what has happened in the GTA 416 proper and looking at Brampton, Mississauga, Vaughan, and Caledon. So one of the things that we also need to definitely take a look at what's happened in the GTA is we've got total homes sold is 4,151. This is for throughout the GTA, all the property types. We've got active listings at almost 18,000 and we've got new listings of 11,060. For those of you who don't know, we are actually in a buyer's market. And traditionally what happens in the GTA is when the absorption rate is actually below 30%, it actually signals a buyer's market, and buyers are definitely taking advantage of this particular situation as we have not seen a buyer's market for some time. Hi, I'm Paul Sawhney. I am a realtor, mortgage specialist, and a real estate investor here in the GTA. I focus on market reports just like this to provide you as much information and arm you with enough data to make sure that you are making an informed decision on your real estate journey. I want to make sure that you are actually making the right decisions, or at least taking enough data in to make that right decision for yourself. Here, I like to look at what is happening with the current data. I look at median prices, and then at the same time, we will look at each dwelling type to see where there was an increase or perhaps a decrease. If you had actually seen a decrease in a particular city for all property types, it doesn't necessarily mean that all homes have decreased in that particular city. And if there was a price increase, it doesn't mean that all dwelling types had increased. So it's very important to go through those numbers and see where there was an increase or a decrease. If you would like to have more information, I highly encourage you to book a one-on-one call with me via my Calendly link. The information is in the bio below, and we can actually go into your particular neighborhood and determine what type of pricing your home is actually worth, and maybe even look at an area that you are interested in and seeing whether or not it is a good opportunity to take advantage of something today. And I am a mortgage specialist also, and so I can actually provide you with a lot of insight as to what I personally feel would be favorable terms for you for today's market. We have approximately 10 million homeowners throughout Canada. And out of those 10 million, we have about 7 million of them that have mortgages. And out of those, 1%, so 70,000 homeowners are actually up for renewal every single month. And where the squeeze is where the majority of the action took place, which was in 2020 and 2021, where now those people who had actually purchased homes in those years are now going to get sticker shock from their new rates and their increased mortgage payments. So there are going to be some that will be able to sustain and maintain those mortgage payments until potentially another renewal and hopefully have lower payments. And there are going to be other people that are going to be forced to sell. So the key will be is when those people might put those homes on the market, so it's not going to be all of them, but when they do, they're going to be distressed, and that's when the buyers are going to be taking advantage of it and potentially bringing those home prices down. So let's get into those numbers of what has happened in the GTA and throughout. we're going to take a look at all homes in the GTA, all the communities amongst all property types. First, we're going to take a look at what happened in November. The median price is now $950,000. And last month, we were actually at $956,500. There's an actual decrease of $6,500, which is not much. And so we were expecting a far bigger decrease. Let's take a look now at what has happened in the detached segment of the GTA. And here you'll see the median price now is 1.260. Last month we were at 1.265, so there's just a small decrease of $5,000. Got semi-detached here at 982,500. And here we have had a significant decrease where last month we were at 999,000. So that's a decrease of about 1.7%. It's about 17 grand, still trending in the opposite direction. Freehold towns in the GTA, we're now at 935,000 as opposed to last month's 979,000. That's a decrease of 44,000 or 4.7%. Condo apartments, we are now at 625,000. Last month we were at 640,000. So there's a $15,000 decrease. So one of the other important things that we do need to take a look at now is that the number of days on market. In the GTA, the number of days it takes to sell a home on the market is 24 days. Compared to last month's 20 days. So you're seeing that amount of time taken to sell a home has increased. We're going to take a look at the Toronto market. So this market does not include North York, Scarborough, Etobicoke. This is just the core. Amongst all property types now, our median price is $890,000. Last month we were at $915,000. That's a $25,000 decrease in home prices. That's a decrease of 2.8%. Now we're going to go into the detached segment. It's 1.580 in the 416 core. We were at 1.665. So the detached segment in Toronto 416 has actually gone down $85,000. The condo market is now at $665,000 as opposed to last month's $686,000. That's a decrease of 3.1% or $21,000. We've got semi-detached market in Toronto at 1.215 million as opposed to last month's 1.282. That's a decrease of $67,000 or 5.5%. Some of the cities that I've been really scrutinizing was Mississauga, Brampton, Vaughan, and Caledon. Now, I had a lot of clients who were looking at homes in these areas, and we were actually really watching to see what was happening with house prices, and we have seen a significant decrease on home prices. I have seen homes, especially in the Vaughan area, going from 2.5 million that are now sitting at 1.8 million. Now, I'm not saying this happened all over 1 month or 2 months. It actually took about 4 or 5 months where I was watching this happen, but they were caught in the higher market thinking that that's where homes were selling, but they quickly dissipated, and now we're actually seeing a brand new floor sitting at around the 1.6 to 1.8 million, depending on how wide the lots are. So we still have some realtors who are still stuck at some very old pricing, depending on the area. Obviously, I'm not saying that no home can be worth 2.5 or 3 or $4 million. It just matters on knowing exactly where that market sits. And if you're having an issue determining that, I do highly recommend you book a call via my Calendly link. We can go over what is happening within your particular neighborhood to determine the right price. Because if you don't have an agent who actually lists your home at the right price, and now you've wasted 24, 25 days on the market to find out that you haven't had any activity, what's going to happen is people are going to target you and simply come in lower than what you wanted. So in Vaughan, we've got a median price now of 1.19 million. Last month, we were at 1.135. There you have it. There is a price increase. The city of Vaughan, we've gone up $55,000. Now that's amongst all property types. Let's see exactly which property types have been affected positively or negatively. Detached homes now are at 1.660. And last month we were at 1.560. There's a difference of $100,000 or 1.6%. Freehold towns are now sitting at $1,090,000. Last month we were at 1.110. So there's about a $20,000 decline. Now let's take a look at condo apartments. We are now at 610,000 as opposed to last month's 638,000. That's a $28,000 decrease. So in Vaughan, we have now the average days on market at 25 as opposed to 21 days. You don't want to be wasting days on market if your home is not listed at the right price, because you don't know what will happen to house prices moving forward. Detached homes in Brampton, we are now at 1.115 as opposed to last month's 1.110. So it's basically just a $15,000 uptick in detached home prices. Semi-detached, we're now at $922,000. Last month we were at $920,000. So pretty stable numbers in Brampton thus far. Let's take a look at what's happened in freehold towns. Freehold towns were now at $825,000 as opposed to last month's $855,000. So this 30,000 or 3.6% decrease is quite significant for freehold towns. Condo apartments, we're now at 545,000 as opposed to last month's 522,000. That's a 4.2% increase in the condo apartment market in Brampton, Ontario. Condo towns are now at 710,000 as opposed to last month 710, so it's pretty much just a $500 price increase. So in Brampton, we have the average number of days on market is 24 as opposed to 22 days on the market in the month of October. Still an uptick of an additional 2 days. Mississauga, very interesting market actually, because we were seeing still some uptick in the market when markets were actually declining elsewhere. We are now sitting at 935,000 amongst all property types. There is a decrease as last month was $960,000. Now let's take a look at what's happened in the detached market. We've got 1.320 as opposed to last month's 1.323, so barely any change there. So one of the biggest dwelling types in Mississauga are condo apartments at 585,000 versus 590,000, so a small decrease of $5,000. Condo townhomes at 765,000 in Mississauga as opposed to 785,000, so there's a $20,000 decrease there. And in semi-detached market of 992,000 as opposed to last month's 965,000. Caledon, obviously the main dwelling type in Caledon is detached homes. So across all property types, you're seeing a 1.21 million price, whereas last month we were at 1.225. There is a decrease of 15,000, but detached homes, we are now at 1.370 versus last month's 1.357. So we've got an increase of about $13,000 there. If you like the content that I provided today, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It will be doing me a favor as I try to provide these videos to arm you with the most amount of data to help you interpret this and see exactly how it is going to affect you on your real estate journey. See you on the next one.